For many years, humans have looked up at the night sky and asked one big question: are we alone in the universe? We built powerful telescopes, sent signals into space, and searched for intelligent life somewhere far away. But while we were looking up at the stars, something extraordinary was happening beneath the surface of our own planet. Deep in the ocean, giant animals were speaking to one another, not with words, but with sound. And in the summer of 2023, something happened that made scientists pause and rethink everything. A whale answered. In the summer of 2023, the sea near Alaska was calm and quiet. The water was cold, and the sky stretched wide and blue above a small research boat. On that boat, a group of scientists sat patiently, not just observing whales, but preparing for an unusual experiment. They lowered a speaker into the dark water and played a recorded humpback whale contact call. This type of sound is often used by whales to signal their presence, almost like saying, "I am here. Is anyone there?" For a brief moment, nothing happened. Then a large shadow moved slowly beneath the boat. It was a humpback whale named Twain. Twain did not swim away. Instead, he responded. He produced a similar call, and then he waited. The scientists waited too, before playing the next sound. Twain answered again. This exchange continued for about 20 minutes, with each side taking turns. The spacing between sounds was not random. The timing followed a pattern that looked like turn-taking, one of the basic rules of conversation. Scientists were careful not to say that they had a full conversation with a whale. However, they did report something important. The whale appeared to follow structured communication rules. For those researchers, the ocean no longer felt silent. It felt responsive. This moment in Alaska did not appear out of nowhere. Its roots go back more than 50 years. In the 1970s, marine biologist Roger Payne was studying whale recordings at a time when many people still saw whales mainly as resources for oil and meat. Whaling was common, and public awareness was limited. But when Payne listened carefully to those recordings, he noticed something extraordinary. The sounds were not random noise. They had repeating phrases, structure, and long patterns that slowly changed over time. Humpback whales were singing. He released an album called Songs of the Humpback Whale, and surprisingly, people around the world listened. The recordings were haunting and beautiful, and for the first time, many people felt an emotional connection to whales. The album did not just share sound, it changed public opinion. It helped inspire the global Save the Whales movement and contributed to stronger protection laws. All of that began because someone listened differently. In 2017, a group of scientists decided to take listening even further. Instead of searching for intelligence in space, they chose to focus on intelligent life here on Earth. They created Project CETI, the Cetacean Translation Initiative. Their goal was ambitious: to understand the communication system of sperm whales. Sperm whales are very different from humpbacks. They do not sing long songs. Instead, they produce rapid clicking sounds that travel long distances underwater. These short patterns of clicks are called codas. At first, codas seemed simple, almost mechanical. But as researchers collected more recordings and began analyzing them with artificial intelligence, patterns started to appear. Some codas were used frequently, while others were rare. Some changed slightly depending on the situation. The speed, rhythm, and even tiny timing differences appeared meaningful. This suggested that the clicks might function in ways similar to parts of human language. One of the most fascinating discoveries was that different whale families use different patterns of codas. In other words, they have dialects. Even more interesting is how young whales learn. Calves stay with their mothers and grandmothers for many years. During this time, they listen, practice, and gradually improve their clicking patterns. This process is known as social learning, the ability to learn behaviors from others in a group. Social learning is rare in the animal kingdom and is considered one sign of advanced intelligence. Researchers have observed that young whales sometimes make imperfect clicks, almost like human children learning to speak. Over time, their patterns become more precise. Language may not belong only to humans. Scientists remain cautious about making strong claims. They do not yet have a full translation of whale communication. However, evidence suggests that whales share important information. Before deep dives to hunt squid, certain codas are heard more often. During social gatherings, other patterns appear. When threats such as loud naval sonar are present, whale behavior sometimes changes, and groups may leave the area. Are they warning each other? Are they coordinating movement? The research continues. What is clear is that whales live in structured societies. They cooperate, remember migration routes, and care for their young for many years. Their communication system appears organized rather than random. Project CETI is still collecting data, and there is no whale translation device yet. But the progress so far has already changed how many scientists think about intelligence. For centuries, humans defined intelligence by technology, cities, and written language. Yet whales have none of these, and still they show signs of complex social systems and learned communication. For many years, we looked toward distant galaxies, hoping someone would answer our signals. But perhaps the first meaningful reply did not come from the stars. Perhaps it came from the ocean. Perhaps intelligence has been swimming beside us all along, waiting for us to listen carefully enough.